hope everybody's doing well. Okay, so the whatnot. Hello, somebody's there. The whatnot onboarding conference and the quiz test after. If you don't pass quiz test, then you're kind of done. Are you doing practice sales? Nope, didn't even do practice. I actually did a sale. Um, but anyway, so the conference call thing, they say it's 15 minutes, but it's like 30. And it's a meeting. Anyway, it was supposed to be Friday, but I already did it. So um, I did the quiz today. They sent that to me so that I could go ahead and roll with it. And the quiz is like 10 questions or less. It's not many. So do pay attention during the meeting and take some notes. But it's the quiz. I will tell you this much. I really don't want to tell you the questions, but I will tell you this much. It uh um it's questions that you would want your employees to know. Did you really? Look, there's so much dollar stuff on there. A lot of people do dollar starting bids, and that's insane because there's a bunch of people on there that just want dollar stuff. You can score on that bad baby. But I will tell you, the way they do the shipping, because even though you buy it for $1, which see, if you sell it for $1, it's not worth it because it's like eBay. You're gonna pay like 15% before it's all over, plus your 35-cent fee to list it for each ad. I don't even rent a shop. I did that years ago, but they approved me for like I think it's $200,000 sales a month on eBay. After I talked to him like 3 times, and I was on less than 3 months plus. Um, I only had like 6 sales actually, but I ship out as soon as I get the order. If I'm in my office and that order comes in, dude, I'm packing it up. I put postage on it through the computer, and then stick it on the package, and I run down the post office, drop it off. I mean, it's because as soon as you enter that tracking number on that order, it's like a countdown by the seconds on eBay. So I have really high ratings. Even though I don't have a lot of reviews, I have really high ratings because I deliver real fast. That's a new thing with eBay. They want to see if you're paying attention. So my score is super good. And I couldn't believe it. On the third call, in like a month and a half, they opened my account up wide open. And I was like, dudes. So I can get a ton of stuff listed. The problem is eBay's so tough. And I do markdowns every day. Some stuff I cry when I go to mark it down. I'm like, no. But I mean, if I'd had $1 for every item I listed on there, I would have, a ton of money. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But Whatnot's a faster way to run this stuff out. And, instead of it just sitting dormant there and only making a few sales here and there on eBay, on Whatnot, you can make as many sales as you want as long as you want to sit on there. The bids, I saw it from 3 minutes. It's supposed to have 5 minute one too, but they had 3 minute or less, all different increments. My first auction I did 3 minute, but I'll tell you about that on the next one. But anyway, so um, a seller is going to pay 30 cents for their listing, and you can put them in there in advance, or you can do them while you're doing it. I did them while I was doing it. I tried to do it in advance, and I couldn't get it to work because I was going to run the computer and my phone. So, um, uh, I couldn't get it to work on the computer. It was like I wouldn't do poop. So I didn't, obviously didn't know what I was doing. I wanted to do the test sandbox run, and my app was actually on at first until I signed up for the conference thing. And if I knew what I was doing, I could have just went ahead and started. Because I've been sitting here dormant for a few days going, oh man, I want to do the conference. So I can start moving and grooving and try to get some revenue. Um, but I passed the test, boom, boom. I did get one answer slightly wrong, because it was actually an option where all the answers were good, all of the above, and I didn't know you could pick all of the above. So it let me take that question over again, and I hit all of the above, and it went. And I was like, dude. So it's just questions like as if you own the business and you wanted to see if your employee knew what they were supposed to do. That's all it is. It's very logical, very easy to figure out. Like you could not even go to the conference call and know this. So anyway, uh, they sent me a message immediately after the test was put through. I had to do it on my phone, the little quiz. It's like an ABC thing. And then uh, they sent me a message back and said, "Great, you passed the test." And then, like, not even a minute later, they sent me a message that said, "Okay, we turned you on. Click here to start, you know, setting up for your auction." Because, see, I'd already put most of my info in there the other day because I was reading everything on the site and going through everything, clicking on everything. And so that's pretty cool. You get paid by PayPal, or you can have a direct deposit to your bank account. If you screw up on their website, it's $100 fine for every screw up. So don't violate if you're a seller. Um, there's people on there like smoking weed and drinking liquor while they're selling. I went on several of them last night. They have got hundreds and hundreds of sellers on there. And they have all kinds of sections now where they only had like three before. Because it really catered more towards like trading cards like Pokemon and baseball cards and just miles of those. There's so many of them. And then there's like one Lego guy, um, and then those little dolls. We were talking about those yesterday. Those little plastic dolls in the box, Funko Pops, and all that. There's like miles of those people, and that's what turned me off months ago was all that stuff because I dress entertainers mainly, and so I'm doing men's, women's, children's, and then formal wear, and then shoes, and then accessories, jewelry, pocketbooks, all kinds of stuff. Plus some of my eBay stuff, some of that used stuff out of storage auctions, like some used clothes and Harley Davidson stuff, military stuff, um, Playboy, all kinds of stuff. So anyway, it concerned me because, my products back then were so much more valuable than the stuff they were selling on there. Um, I mean, to me, they're selling dollar opening bid cards and they're selling for like $2 and $3, and people are there for hours and hours, and they're selling T-shirts for $1 open bid. And some of them will get bid up really high, and some of them are just selling for $1. The problem is if you sell for $1 on there, you're paying at 30 cent. It's 30 or 35 cent like eBay for the ad. Then you got to pay the eBay percentage on whatnot, which is three different percentages they cut out of you. A lot of people don't understand that, but it's in there. It's in there on the website, and it works out close to 15%, like eBay. So if you sell something for $1, 30 cents come right off the top. That 30 35 cents for the ad, and then your 15%. So now you're going to make what, 50 cents? Are you kidding? And then the customer pays the shipping, and the shippings used to be really cool where it was like $4.95 for the first item, and then every item after that was like $1 or something. And now they've upped it a little bit, so I think it's like $4.95 for the first item, and then like $2 for every item after that, and they just combine it. kind of thing. And some of them are separate. I guess if you order from a different seller and go into their auction, I think you pay different or something. I'm not sure how that goes. If it's like for the whole night, if you're bidding around, or for one auction seller, I'm not sure how that goes. But let's see. Can you set a reserved on whatnot? You can set a starting price any way you want. You can also list items so when you're not open selling, that people can supposedly buy them like on a buy it now. And then you can also pre-bid. So if they list a bunch of stuff for the next show that's coming, that they're going to do, whether it's like in an hour, tonight, tomorrow, 3 days from now, you can go in there and pre-bid, so you don't even have to be present. So, like, there was a lady on there last night selling all name brand stuff at Louis Vuitton, and I mean some old Louis Vuitton with jacked up handles and stuff. And she was selling that, and I mean there was one pocketbook on there that went for close to $1,000, and all of the rest of them were like $500 to $1,000. And it was hard to believe. She did one on open bid of $1, and that thing went wacko. It was bidding so fast right in front of your very eyes, and that thing slammed just close to $1,000. It was like 900 something, and I was like, holy heck. So I looked at all her solds, because you can look at what's sold while they're on there. After they go, then it kills it. It erases it, so you can't see what they sold. It's interesting. It makes me wonder. But anyway, I was looking on the solds while she was live selling that stuff, and she had, I don't know how long she'd been on there. She was running like 1 minute auctions, and she had done $4,000 or $5,000 in pocketbooks, used pocketbooks, Louis Vuitton and Gucci and stuff like that. And it was like, whoa. And Louis Vuitton is plastic, man. Plastic with leather handles, okay? I mean, I always hated Louis Vuitton. Gucci was always leather and fabric. But, well, it's that Louis Vuitton. You know, that stuff goes for big, bad money. I mean, just the wallets are like $500. It's plastic. And there's so many fakes. But they say they have a thing where they can see if it's fake or not and whatnot. I don't know. Because you can get in deep trouble for selling fakes too. If you ship it through the United States Post Office now, it's a federal charge. Big problem. Yeah. So, the way you get caught is if the post office opens it up, or customer reports to the post office that they received a fake. Federal charge, big time. Yeah, that's not cool. They put that baby on the screen. They did it again today. That is not cool. Just like with YouTube, you really shouldn't be filming children. They tell you, because they'll kill your comments if you have kids in a video and stuff. So you have to be really careful. But I wouldn't do it, especially a topless child. They're really funny about all that, you know. When there's a girl or boy, if they're topless or naked, because everybody thinks it's cute, you don't want to put that stuff on the internet or public pictures or anything like that. You can get in trouble legally, where they say you're doing bad stuff. Yeah, but it's just not appropriate. Plus, what if you get a stalker, you know, or a kidnapper, or a mad dad that doesn't have visitation? You know, it's like, no, don't do it. Just don't do it. It's not good policy. But kids are real cute, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's appropriate. Right? Now, I watched some really great sellers last night and today. There's a guy in Philadelphia that does jackets. All his stuff's jackets. And he has the neatest shop. Oh my gosh. And he has vintage stuff and new stuff, and he had shoes and baseball jackets and team stuff. He had women's clothes. He had some neat stuff on here. If I'd had money, I'd have bought almost everything he had on the thing today. Because he had those really pretty running suits They're, the jacket with the pants thing, and they're like silk and polyester and with a real pretty piping, a big baggy jacket, and so you can wear like a t-shirt under it. And I always worn mine with heels. I love them. Those pants are so warm and they're windproof. They're the best. I used to use them on the road, and I'd roll them up and stick them in a duffel bag. I could put all kinds of beautiful suits like that, and then I could just throw it on. I didn't have to hang it up in the car. And so it was really handy, and they're real nice looking. And he had those, and I used to pay $40, $60 for those suits. Um, at Walmart, sometimes they sell them too. Nice zipper jacket, real dressy looking. And he was selling that stuff for $15 for the suit, the jacket, and the pants new with tags. And it was old dead stock. It was like 80s, 90s stuff. I couldn't believe it. I was really impressed. But I wished I could have bought a really nice guy. Really, really nice guy. And I was helping him sell. But he sold his stuff so cheap, I wanted to choke for what he was selling that stuff for. Because he had a lot of stuff that was going for like $5, $7. I just want to cry. Because the fees is going to get you. You know, the fees will get you. So you got to make it worth it. So I don't think I will ever do dollar starting bids. I might do $2, but on some stuff, but probably very little. And it could be the time you run the auction. The biggest thing I think is the following. You get people that'll follow you like on YouTube. And so, I mean, I already had like 30 followers before I started because I went around to different auctions saying hi and helping sellers and just being sweet, you know, and helping them make their sales, by helping them with the descriptions and stuff because they don't know how to sell clothes. They don't know nothing about clothes, which that is my forte. I got a degree in that. So I know all the descriptions and everything. But so just by being a nice person, I got a lot of people that, friended me. And so, they sub me. So that's a good start. Now there's some people that drop into auctions and go, my auction starts at 5, and that's like so tacky. It's not a nice thing to do. So, but anyway, and then there's others that share everybody else's site and go, hey, this is so and so. They're going to do a sale today. You better friend them, so that you won't miss it. And there's one girl that, just she finished all her auctions and just sat and talked there. I was listening to her for about an hour and she wasn't selling anything. And she's in Virginia. She's married to a military guy. She has 2 kids and she looks like she's about 17. She's the prettiest thing. And she was like, no, I'm not 17. But she just sat on the floor Indian style and was holding stuff up in front of the phone, selling it. I watched, be careful what you post. I watched some sellers that were really bad. They just would start showing stuff and go, okay, I got this, and okay, I got this, but they wouldn't run an auction. And they'd have, 50 or 100 people on there watching this, but they wouldn't start an auction. It was like they were waiting around to see if the people go, yeah, I want that, And it was like, the best thing you can do is just keep running auctions. I mean, it's even, I don't know if they charge you for every auction, whether you sell it or not, but the best thing you can do is just keep running stuff and see if somebody bids. Because they get bored and they leave. Yep. So, it's pretty interesting. But, I mean, there's a lot of people on eBay that go up there to buy stuff and whatnot because it's so cheap with all these new sellers. And they're slamming them in there like toast. Before you couldn't get in there and people were waiting 4 and 6 months to get in and couldn't reapply and all that stuff. And all that hard time I got before, months ago. They're taking them hand over fist if you have good product. And, this time, all I did was submit one picture. And literally, I went in the bathroom in my office building. It has a long counter, right? I took one huge crate of jewelry jewelry cases and all. Okay. Laid them on the counter. A couple of beautiful statue stuff that I've got a list. Um, and a rhinestone hat I did, a fedora, and all the rest jewelry. Set it up all nice and neat in the glass cases. Shot one big picture and sent that in. That's exactly what I did. And there was so much jewelry. Okay. Just one crate, and I've got two crates of the stuff. Um, so I said, hell with them. That's all I'm gonna do. And my buddy Chris at Daily Refinement referred me in, and they responded to me really promptly in less than I think it was less than 7 days. I put it in my other blog, so I really think that helped. Now I just today I got to do a separate blog on it, but I did my first auction, and you have to do your first auction if seller refers you. After you do your first auction, they get sent $200 referral fee. And I told Chris, I said, you got that 200 coming. Make sure to keep track of it. And he said, well, you have to do an auction first. I said, it's no problem. Watch me. So I sent him an email to let him know before I did my auction, to let him know that apparently I'm in like Flynn. And so they turned my app on so quick. It wasn't even 10 minutes, I don't think. And it was ready rolling. It was on before. It was on before I signed up for the conference call. And I didn't know what to do with it. I clicked on it several times. And I even tried to do the sandbox test video like they said you could do. So I went in there cold, man. Cold. But I did okay. I didn't even have any help from anybody. I just did it. So it's kind of user friendly. Impressive. Very impressive. People are so nice. I had a lot of nice people online. And let's see. What if would be cool if Whatnot had gift cards like eBay? I don't know. They might. You might have to look in Walmart because they're starting to get big. They're advertising all over, and that costs a ton of money. Yeah, and I mean this company's been around since like 2019, so that's what, almost 5 years. 2020, 21, 22, 3 years. And months ago it was nothing. Now there's hundreds and hundreds of sellers, and they're still accepting them. So the big trick is, before they wanted people with huge followings on YouTube so they could get all those people to come over and be customers. But now they're starting to, they would like if you have social media presence, but now they're starting to be selective into, what is that? Those are earrings. And Whatnot is a auction website that it's like 3 or 4 years old, but it's just really starting to bang right now. It's really, honestly, I think that's why eBay, yes, they are. I think that's why eBay is slowing down. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us, Betty. And but I think that's why eBay's slowing down so much. Mercari is a joke. I still have like 100 listings on there. You max out at like 100. They'll stop you. And I haven't sold nothing on there, and I've been on there like 3 or 4 months. Just as soon as that Etsy went down, I jumped on there because other sellers told me it was pretty good. It's not. And then there's Poshmark, Shopify, and one of them you have to put your business license through there, and I'm not doing that. I'm not putting all my pertinent info through a site like that. So, oh, you're going to live into your live? Hey, will you post a link on there? Can you do that? My friend Roxanne has a really cool YouTube. You got a phone from Mercari and it was fake. That's bull. Try that, what is that, back door? Or what is that? Back market is the new thing. And it's a bunch of cell phone businesses that rebuild phones and are selling them on that website called Back Market, and they have like a guarantee. And They're really reasonable. I don't like my car. I haven't had good experiences. You know, I've read that there's a lot of people complain that sellers never ship. But then there's a lot of sellers that complain about people returning bricks and rocks and stuff instead of the product. Yeah, Macari has done nothing for me. Now, I got more views on Macari than eBay. eBay's a lot of work. You have to list stuff every single day. I got like 618 ads on there now. I hardly sell anything. And I list every single day, and it takes hours to do that stuff. And it's not really doing me any good. And they say you have to continue to work like that because if you stop listing, then they'll just make your site invisible. eBay's only catering to sellers that will keep buying ads, I guess. And then you have to depop. No, I've heard a couple people talk about it, but no. Amazon and eBay are really tops, but I think Whatnot's taking the cake because there's people making huge money on there. Chris did 38,000 in one day on $1 open bid used clothes. 38K in one day on Whatnot. He's only been on there like a month. This is Chris from Daily Refinement on YouTube. And his shop on Whatnot is also Daily Refinement. And he does reseller boxes. So you can buy bulk stuff. And then it's like 12 to 15 items. And it's all name brand stuff. All the stuff that sells like Patagonia and Madewell and all that big stuff right now. And then he does dollar auctions all day long, man, for hours. He has people that work for him and do it too. He pays them by the hour to run the auctions when he's not doing it. And he does nothing less than 100K each week. Each week. You know how much money that is? 100K a week is 400K a month. Are you kidding me? And he was a six-figure seller on eBay till they clocked him because he was selling one-of-a-kind specialized high-dollar tennis shoes that, you know, he was buying from sports guys, from the actual athletes themselves, where they wore it like one time or they didn't wear it. And he was selling that stuff for $500 and up each, and he sold a lot of them back in January or February, and they clocked him. They were like, no. And it was probably because Nike or Reebok or whatever got on there and said, you're selling our product and it's one of a kind. They must be stolen. So they just go on your ad and report it. And so if they keep reporting it, then he's going to get sunk because he doesn't have proof of receipt. You got to have receipts for a lot of that high-end stuff. And even in Amazon, when you put a bunch of listings up, they'll stop you and audit you. And you'll be hung up for a month to 3 months. They hung me up for like 3 months one time. But I still had my eBay, and I was clocking 5K a week back then. So, on the internet, between eBay and Amazon. And they clocked me for like 3 months, but I still had to ship. You couldn't even turn off your ads. I was like, well, I'm not shipping nothing if they're not going to pay me. Because they held your money and everything. And they sent me letters like, okay, all this stock, do you have proof of ownership? I'm like, sure, I got receipts. What do you want? Well, I'm a real licensed business. Do I look stupid? Do I really look like I'm going to list stuff that I don't have? And that's back when drop shipping was so highly illegal. You know? Did Roxanne put that link in? No. Oh, Roxanne didn't put that link in. What about her? But yeah, I was so mad with Amazon. There was a bunch of other sellers who were going through the same thing. There were people that sold electronics and had, $10,000 hung up for a couple months because, Amazon wouldn't reopen their account till they were done with their audit. And every time you message them or email them, they have a stupid answer like, we're still working on it. And it's like, can you give me an idea when you'll be done with that or whatever? And they won't. And you just sit there just sucking wind. So, yeah. And I will tell you, drop shipping and dupe listing on different websites, like the same product that you have, and you only have one of it and you list it on Macari, then you go list it on eBay, then you put it on Amazon, you're a fool. It is so bad to go through that and bounce that stuff around and wonder how many you have left or whatever. Don't do it. Only list what you own. Keep it on one website at one time. Like all the stuff I'm showing on Whatnot, anything that sells, I'm going right to eBay and dump it and pray that nobody bought it. Because that's really a problem when somebody buys it and then you've already sold it on Whatnot. So immediately after a show, I'll just go delete the stuff and pray nobody's bought it. eBay sales are so slow, it's not even funny. And I'm tired. I'm tired of working hours photographing and listing and photographing and listing. I am tired. That is so much work. And then they're like, list as much stuff as you can. If you can list, 100 items a day, every day of the week. Well, guess what my bill is with eBay? As every 30 days, I get charged another 35 cents for each ad. And right now, I've got like 618 at 35 cents each. Really? Do I look stupid? And everything that doesn't sell, I'm still paying. And so it's deducting off my revenue. So I'm not real happy about all that. eBay is really tough now. Oh, mother of God. So right now I'm doing like one listing a day. If I don't, then it won't stay electrified. So I'm just doing one listing a day. That is it. Yeah, I mean, it takes so much time to make sure the product's right, no wrinkles, steam it, put it on a hanger, whatever, photograph it. I don't do a lot of editing because I do a lot of my stuff in natural light or really good light. I put halogen lights up to photograph with because they're the duplicate of sunlight. Because other lighting will turn your stuff green and blue and mess it all up. But really, outdoor light is the very best. A nice sunshiny day is the best time to photograph stuff. I used to photograph stuff outside the storages, and clothes came out so good. And his shoes, I would just stick them through the trunk of my car and two boards for background and shoot them in the sunshine. They come out so good. Those glitter shoes. Oh yeah, but it's other people do a bunch of editing, and you want to try not to do that. When you start playing with the colors and all the different pictures and everything, they're not going to match. And you're going to get slammed on eBay. If they think it's a shade darker than what it was in the pictures, they're going to get it free. Yep. And you don't want that. So try to get your pictures to be just exactly like the product. And then you don't have to be editing and doing anything. The most editing I do anymore is just like cropping, you know. And then sometimes I'll dupe the picture and then crop it down really good on one part or something like that. And then just load all those pictures up. That saves you so much time instead of playing with the edit. And good lighting is the big trick. Outdoors or halogen lights. And a nice background. I always shoot on white or black. Now Chris Land at Daily Refinement, he likes gray. Matter of fact, he likes this is a blanket right here. And he likes, and it looks terrible because after you wash it so many times, it was a velvet blanket, real furry like a teddy bear. And after you wash it so many times, even if you don't put it in the dryer, it just gets real fake lamb's wool looking. It's still kind of soft, but it just gets that weird look to it. And so, and those blankets are not cheap. They're like hotel blankets. And he shoots on the fake shearling fabric from Joanne Fabrics in gray. He does all his pictures because he claims the colors come out so much better. I don't know. I just don't know. They always had a rule at Amazon and eBay that you had to have a white background or else. And if you do the pictures and then go to that app where it dumps the background out automatic, it looks so cartoonistic. It doesn't even look real. So I don't want anything to do with that. I want it to look just like it looks in real life. That's what I want the customer to see. But yeah, the onboarding, there's so many people scared of it and everything. It's not a big hairy deal. It says 15 minutes, but it's about 30. There's a bunch of other people there. You can use their face or not face, no face. It's like a Zoom call thing. You do it on your phone thing. And It's just somebody. It's a guy, and he's talking to everybody, all the policies, whatnot, welcoming you and everything, and then you do a quiz after that. It's like 10 or less questions. I think it was actually like 7 questions. Um, and real simple questions, the same that you would ask somebody if they were an employee of yours. Those kind of questions, so that they knew policy. That's all. So, and you know what's really funny? I will tell you one of those questions, which I don't know if I'm allowed to say it or anything, but one of those questions is about gambling, doing a spin the wheel, roll the dice, any of that, that they do not allow it. And guess how many sellers do that all day long? Yeah, all day long, because because they claim it's gambling. Just like that surprise box thing, whatever it is. I'll do it, but it's still way overloaded with you know these Depop things and all these card things. It is just unreal overloaded. I don't know how else people make it. And there's a few comic book sellers. There's a Lego guy. That's a lot of photograph. Yeah, well, yeah. And then now there's a whole bunch of everything. As a matter of fact, I ought to get on here and read what they have, because I didn't do that the other day, and that was kind of poor of me not to tell you about that. Okay, they have, oh my God, trading card games, Pokemon, what does that say? MetaZoo, Magic the Gathering, that's probably witchcraft stuff. UGO, whatever that is. My Hero Academia, Dragon Ball, Naruto, Digimon. That might be Japanese Pokemon cards, I don't know. Marvel, DC, Wales Schwartz, Flesh and Blood, Aloha, Garbage Pail Kids, TCG Accessories, and other TCG. Then they got sports, football cards, basketball, baseball, soccer, all those are cards, UFC cards, wrestling cards. God, look at all the cards. F1 cards, hockey cards, and other sports and sports memorabilia. Toys, Funko, action figures, Lego, die-cast cars, plush, dolls, designer toys, role-playing games. That's interesting. Board games, Fig Fin, and other toys. Comics and manga. Isn't manga weed? I think manga is weed. Modern Age comics, Bronze Age comics, Silver Age comics, Golden Age comics, comic art. There's a comic store um, right in Mary Esther. I need to go in there and look at it. Anime, manga, graphic novels, and other comics. So they've got all kinds of stuff on here now where they didn't have poop before, months ago. Sneakers and streetwear. Sneakers, streetwear, vintage and thrift clothing. Vintage clothing, women's modern and thrift, men's modern and thrift, kids clothing, other fashions. Bags, jewelry, and accessories. Luxury bags and accessories, fashion and thrift bags, jewelry, other accessories. Watches. Wow. Okay, let's see. They got watches, video games and movies, retro game, movie, pop culture, memorabilia. NFTs, and I still don't get that. People are paying thousands of dollars for a little cartoon. I don't know what that is and how that works. That is just strange. Coins and money. Uh, Coins and bullion. Oh, I saw somebody last night selling silver bullion. I don't know if I would buy that. I just don't know. I mean, they were expensive pieces too. It was hard to believe they were selling that stuff. Paper money and currency. Let's see. I mean, they got so many sellers now. Uh, let's see. Music, vinyl records, CDs and cassettes, music memorabilia, instruments and accessories. God, I need to look at those auctions one day. And then other music. But, I mean, they have so much stuff on there now, where before they didn't have nothing. Um, Electronics, cameras, mechanical keyboards, other electronics, arts and crafts, art and prints, crafts, supplies, other arts and crafts, estate sales, and vintage decor. So that's probably going to be people that do like bulk sales. I know a girl that does that. She buys literally estate sale stuff, and she'll sell a whole box of stuff for like $20 of jewelry. Um, let's see, estate sales. What does that say? Ephemera and postcards, vintage decor, and other. Oh my gosh, I got a whole thing on Disneyland stuff. Pins, lounge lily or something, and other Disneyland. I guess that's Disneyland stuff. I don't know. And then whatnot, which that gets really interesting. Books, crystals and gems, stamps, health and beauty, food and drink, home and garden, sports equipment, returned pallets. Well, that's interesting. Brew, Brewerania, which I guess is like for making beer and wine. Kawaii, and then other. So that's all the sections. They didn't have anything like that when I first tried to sign up months back. And which I think was like back before Christmas or something. This is totally different. There are miles and miles of sellers, and they're on 24 hours a day. Some of them will stay on there for 12 hours. They'll sit and eat their lunch and dinner in front of you and everything. But I I went through a lot of auctions last night that the sellers were just like talking to the customers and not selling nothing, and it got really dull. I wanted to leave because it was just dull. And then the ones with the loud music and the ones saying like the F word every other word and all that. And it was just kind of tacky. Um, and then some sellers, like the one guy had these Funko Pop things, those little plastic dolls in the box, and I mean, there was a guy asking him about some of the stuff he had stocked up there, and he wasn't even selling any. I mean, he just, I think he just wanted to see if somebody wanted something and he'll run it. And he's like, yeah, okay, this one's 300 and this one's like 900. And he had all these huge prices on those Funko Pop. I don't know what is all about that, but I guess I'll have to read up on it because I've never heard of it until on here on whatnot. Um, and honestly, I'm just not seeing where that value is for $900 for plastic doll in a cardboard box. That's only like this big. You know what I mean? So the site is banging. It really is. And there are people making money on it. I mean, when what Chris started revealing recently about the money he's making on it, like I say, he did 38K, 38,000 in one day, 8 hours of sales, 38,000. 3 rows of Funk Pops. I think you collect them. And I mean, I don't think that's going to last long. I think they're just little plastic dolls. They're going to rot eventually. I mean, at least comic books will kind of last if you keep them in a plastic bag. But those boxes and those dolls, they're just going to rot. I mean, you don't see a lot of 1960s stuff laying around, do you? Like the kitty cat clocks with the tail swings, or you know, I'm trying to think of some of the toys, the click clacks. There was a guy that had thousands of them. I think he got them in a storage auction or something. A while back, guy had thousands of them, but they were kind of outlawed because, and that was really unfortunate. I think they were outlawed back in the 70s because, um, people were using them, and it's like two strings and a ring you put on your middle finger, and you sling them around, and they click clack. They hit each other on the top, and then they swing down and hit on the bottom, swing up, hit on the top. It's really cool. And you know, you hold your arm out and do that, and they go click clack, click clack, click clack. And there are plastic balls with like glitter in them, whatever, with a string in it. And the problem was that they were self-destructing when people would use them. And I don't know, put somebody's eye out or what happened, but they were like breaking apart. So they kind of outlawed them. But there was a guy um, on eBay back around 2004, I think it was. They had tons of them. I'm like, those are real click clacks? Are you kidding me? He had tons of them listed. I couldn't believe it because I hadn't seen click clacks in forever. But you know, all that old stuff, you don't see any around. I had a Mr. Potato Head that I bought at a secondhand store that was from the 60s, right? I'm like, that's so cool, in the box. Guess how long that sucker lasted? Like exactly 3 months. I was so mad when I opened that box, and it just was a bunch of shattered stuff inside. I'm like, no. Yeah, and I bought it for like $10 or $12 at a store. I was so blown away. I'm like, oh, it's Mr. Potato Head. And I thought that would probably be worth some money if I ever sold it. The thing's self-destructed. His plastic's too old. I mean, if you want to really do some damage, just do something like with the old Hot Wheels. I know a guy in Dothan that sells at a flea market in Dothan, Alabama. That's all he sells is Hot Wheels. Hundreds of them. That's all he does. And I'm like, how can they be worth anything, used or new? He said they are. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. I mean, the guy's driving a nice car, living in a nice house. And I'm like, what do you do for a living? He says, I sell Hot Wheels at the flea market in Dothan. I'm like, you do not. That's all he did. And like 50 years old, making bank. Some freaking Hot Wheels. And I mean, you can still get Hot Wheels at Walmart. You can get them at the Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree's now like $1.25 or $1.50 for everything. It was better when it was a dollar. Um, but it's like going to any other store now, as high as it is. Because it'd be better. You'd be better off to go to Walmart or Dollar General. It's because it's all the same price now. I think they hurt a lot of their business, and they buy their stuff cheap. They do like Sam Walton, where they buy bulk and put it in a warehouse, and they got stores all over the states. Oh my gosh! But one of the best Dollar Tree stores is the one in Huntsville, Alabama, out on University Drive, right next to the Walmart. That is a huge, really nice Walmart. There's another one that's real nice. I'm trying to think if it's out in Arkansas at Hot Springs. I'm thinking that's the one. I used to work in Hot Springs a lot. Man, what a neat place. And they have a really great rock shop there over by Centerfold Babes. And it's reasonable too. Those people are so nice there. But I haven't been there in several years. But what a neat place that is. I used to travel California to Florida all year round, dressing entertainers for years and years and years. Pandemic shut me down, so I got like 3 retail stores worth of stuff. So maybe, just maybe, Whatnot will take me out of my car. Um, I have hopes. I'm just gonna keep trying till I can get enough people to follow me, or hit the right thing that sells, or the right time to do it. Um, I was surprised that when I did my sale today, which I need to talk about in another vlog, that I did okay. I didn't do any sales, but I did okay. I was like kind of scared of it because I had no clue what I was doing because it wouldn't let me do the sandbox mode. They have a thing where you can do a fake live that doesn't go on live before you do a live. And so I was really excited to do that, and I couldn't make it do it. I was so mad. I remember the 1960s Tommy guns. I don't know what that is. Is that like those plastic machine guns that go do 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 or something like that? Is that what you mean? Um, let's see. What's this other? Oh, where did it go? Oh, here it is. Um, I remember once seeing Hot Wheels at Advanced Auto Parts in a certain spot. Oh, really? Let me tell you what I always wanted. I had a boyfriend named Courtney. I think it wasn't Courtney Bradford Lawrence. It was something else. Um, and he lived down the street from us in Seal Beach, and I was like 6. And my it was funny. My parents laughed. My dad laughed years ago. I saw him at Catalina Island when I was 12 years old when we were over there doing a cruise for my dad's business. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Courtney. It's Courtney. He was my boyfriend when I was 6. And this kid was about the way he looked when he was little. He had blonde, messy hair. All his teeth were trashed. They were all twisted up, all the top and bottom. And but he had the greatest smile. And he was a really nice guy. And so he was kind of grown at that point. And I was like, oh, he was the love of my life. My dad's like, oh my gosh, he looked really terrible. But that was my little boyfriend, my beau, when I was 6. I used to hang out with, and I was like the only girl allowed to go in the treehouse club, and all that stuff, and pass the initiation. And he had hamsters. I was there one night in the garage with him, and he had these hamsters, these big freaking rats. And I used to love all that stuff when I was little, lizards, rats, iguanas, all that crap. And really. And it might have been, I liked those tractor trailers that those parts houses used to put out. You ever see those? They are nice. They'll be like all metal in a big box. They're so cool. But yeah, and so I would be over there while his hamsters were giving birth, and that was like a real big thing to see the babies come out, and they were little rats, man. Ugh. And I used to hold all that stuff: turtles, lizards, all that crap. Everything except for snakes, pretty much. And I really thought iguanas were cool. I, and then the guys always had those racetracks, the Mattel racetracks. Where like they went through the circle loops and the turns and all that cool stuff, and you could race them, and it was so cool. And I always wanted one of those tracks. Guess what? I got it twice. I got the biggest one of all, the most giant one of all, just about 5 years ago, and I was so excited I about cried, and my daughter was like going, "Oh, mom," and I'm like, "No, dude, this is so rocking," and I was like freaking out. It's this humongous box, like the size of the trunk of my Cadillac, with all the racetrack stuff, everything, like you could put it in a whole room. I was so excited. I'm like, oh, I never got to set it up. It was in the storages that they stole. And I'm still hurt over that because all my life I've wanted the racetrack for those little cars, and to be like racing them and stuff, man. I've always loved that. Courtney had a really neat setup like that. And I used to go over there like every day and race cars with him, man. It was like I totally digged it. And so it was like my dream all my life to have that Mattel, and the Hot Wheels, all the cool cars and the dragsters and all that stuff. Yeah. And then I used to buy my dad Mattel cars because he collected cars, literally, real live, full size vehicles. After I left home, and so I would buy him little cars that matched his cars and stuff. And even when I moved across states, I would ship them to him and stuff. So, and actually, I've got some of those that I gave him, um, and which is wild. My sister's like, "Do you want any of this stuff?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" It's just, she mailed me a bunch of stuff. This is like the stuff I gave my dad. But anyway, It was like, are you sure? But anyway, so yeah, um, that Mattel stuff, is pretty hot. Like I say, that guy was making bank selling little Mattel cars. I'm like, Mattel cars, I mean, what are they, like $1.50 a pack? Comes on a piece of cardboard, with clear on the front. Yeah, but apparently they've got some value to them now. I mean, I could dig. I could collect 4,000 of those suckers, but that would be before I ever collect anything like Funko Pop, baseball cards, any of that junk. You know, no. They used to have something called like a wacky packies or something, and you got like some gum, and it was a wax paper coating thing that wrapped it up, and there was like, you'd get like 4 or 5 fun cards, and there were stickers too. So you could peel it off and make a sticker. And they were like really hilarious. They were so funny, and I had those for years. They were in those storages that got stolen. I still had them. Yeah, and they probably would have been worth a ton if I'd have sold them today on eBay. I mean, literally a ton. I've always had like just about every piece of paper that ever transpired through my hands in my whole life, and people are like, "Oh my god, oh yeah, I got my first plane ticket to Florida, all that." It's so old, the paint is off of it. Are you kidding? Yeah. Oh god, I miss all that great stuff. But and I felt bad getting into storage auctions, but so many people, buy the stuff and then throw it all in the trash. It is the dumbest thing I have ever seen. Everything in those storage auctions is worth something, except for the total trash, like where they got their food stuff in there or whatever. That's garbage. Um, but uh, everything else is money. Those clothes, the furniture. Um, the furniture is first thing that goes. You could sell that furniture used so expensive. I have sold so many dressers for $100. $100. Boom. And the people load it. Boom. In 3 days, I can run the furniture out. Yep. On Let Go and all that kind of stuff. Just stick it on there. And then they get a hold of you and make an appointment. And you run your appointment 11 to 5, period, or 11 to 4. That's it. By appointment only. You don't get an address till you're ready to come now. I am not giving you an address because they'll never come. Or you'll get too many people once, and you don't want all those people because they argue with each other and want to kill each other. It's not happening. It's not dangerous. And I do it under video camera. And so I will sell it directly on a damn storage unit right there at the complex under video camera during operating hours when management is there for my safety. Yep, sure will. And they have to have cash, and I don't do change. And I've only had, I think, one person ever walk away and not purchase. Usually they come and they buy, and they'll always say, "Well, can I look at it?" I mean, when you put pictures all over the internet, I mean, there's some looking right there. How about that? But no, they'll do, "Can I look at it?" Or they do a lot of that crap where they go, "So do you deliver?" And it's like, no, it says in the ad, "You pick up, you load. We don't deliver." I always put "we." So it sounds like there's more than one person. Because it's kind of dangerous nowadays playing that game, And it's like you don't want them coming to your house. I don't have a house, so that doesn't make a difference. But I mean, I know a reseller right now on the internet, and he sells the stuff on Marketplace and has people come into his driveway to pick it up. I said, man, I would not do that. Absolutely not. If you read on the internet how people have been shot where somebody come look at a TV and they just shot them for no reason. I mean, there's so much of that craziness. And what if the stuff doesn't work? They're going to come back to get you, man. You know what I mean? They will not quit. They'll come flatten your tire. I mean, I bought a stereo at a yard sale over on the island. I was so freaking mad. And they said it worked and everything, and it didn't. It didn't. The turntable didn't work. The cassette deck didn't work. The only thing that did work was the radio, and it was a full stereo system, in the wood cabinet with the glass doors, with the big speakers and all that, and the stupid sucker didn't even work. I was so mad. And I paid 25 for it. They wanted 45 and I paid 25 for it. And the sucker didn't work. And I asked them, does it work? Yeah. You know, I was so mad. That made me so mad. I wanted to take it back and just stick it in front of their house. I was so damn mad. But it's like you really gotta be freaking desperate. Um, I remember you did a vlog of a radio. Not sure if it was the same one. That might have been it. It was a big, tall, stacked stereo system. Like they used to have, like like I don't know, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, where you open the glass doors, and it's a big, tall thing, and then it has like the record player on the top, and then it has like cassette deck over here, and then it has like the equalizer thing, like with the balance on the bass and treble and all that junk on it. And then on the bottom is like where you'd store like records, and then it rolls and stuff, and it looks like wood. I was so mad. I was so mad. It just made me want to puke. And but yeah, they had a collector's car in the driveway too. It was like a fake old timey Mercedes. It was fiberglass body, but it was really neato, convertible. And they didn't want much for that either. But boy, I bet that was a pile of crap too. I bet that was it. I bet I did a vlog about it. I was so damn mad. I paid like $25 or something. 25, 35. They wanted 45. And I didn't, dick them down the price. I just said, how much you want for it. And does it all work? I asked that girl, does it all work? Yes. No, it didn't work. And it was because somebody had jacked with it. And it was like her parents that lived there. It's a real odd house. It was like a geodesic dome house. And she had come from out of state to come down and help them yard sale a bunch of stuff off. Probably trying to get them cut back, probably because it was like Hoarderville in there. I don't know. And the guy was kind of goofy. He was sweet, but he was kind of goofy. And I thought later, I said, he probably was getting Alzheimer's, and they were trying to get rid of so much stuff, before they had to put him away. And the mother was not totally goofy, but you could tell that she was, probably not cleaning the house anymore, much of anything, just kind of, the old fuddy-duddy kind of thing. But I think the guy was in bad shape, and they're probably getting ready to lock him away, in a nursing home or something, because he was kind of goofy. And I have a feeling he was just sitting around tinkering with it, and he's the one that broke it all. And it just didn't work, because it made me so mad when the daughter, who was like 40 years old, she was like handling most all the yard sale, because it was real confusing. And she's, I asked her eye to eye, does it work? Everything work on it? Because I was so excited. I think it might have even had 8-track in it. I don't know. And she's like, oh, yeah. And man, I was so quick to load it up. There's 2 guys there at the yard sale, and they'd loaded the thing in my car. I was so excited. I'm like, oh, my daughter's going to love this. And I think she was at work, and I'd hit that yard sale. And I got some other cool things that I got really cheap. And I really liked the car, and I had the money to buy that car. That God, just think, I might have drove it around the block, and it might have been a pile of caca. I don't know. But yeah. So, yeah, I was like so sad. But I felt like taking that sucker back and put it in front of their house with a note on it like, sorry, it doesn't work, and then just leave. But I was kind of afraid somebody would call the police or something if I did that. But because the thing was really big, it was like, it was like 4 foot tall, whatever, stereo system. I was so fried. Oh, but yeah, so I think I parted it out and kept the case. I can't remember if I still have it or not. I can't, because you can still use those cases for stuff like making a bookcase or whatever. Well, I can't remember. I may not even. I even had to buy magnets for the doors, because the magnets were gone that hold the doors in. And that was the next sucky part. I'm like, man, I got to spend $7 on the freaking magnet sets at Lowe's, because the doors would never close. They'd go click, click, and they close with magnets, and that wouldn't work, because the magnets were gone. So I figured the dude was tinkering with it, tore it all up. So I was so bummed. Ugh. I hate when people lie to me, you know? Because normally they should have had power out there so that you could check it out or whatever. As a matter of fact, I think they had power plugged into it, but they didn't have any cassettes or records. No, I didn't have any records with me. And I was driving, I think I was driving a Cadillac, which that only had CDs for it. I don't think it had cassette. And then I think my van had cassette and CD. And then my other car had cassette and CD. So, I don't know. But yeah. But yeah, the whatnot, it's damn interesting. It's really built. I'm willing to try it. I'm so leery of it. Oh my gosh, I'm so leery of it. But I am willing to try it. Okay. And if the money's hot, I'm going to get it. Really and seriously. And if I can run out a bunch of this stock and start cutting down on these storages, I will save so much money because I'm booking at $1K a month right now between my office and the 2 storages. I'm living in my car. Are you kidding? $1K a month. My house that I had, that the lady put me out in 5 days with a sheriff's order, and I paid rent all the time because she was in a hurry to sell it for the 3 times the price in the pandemic. Okay. And she didn't want to list it unless I was moved out, see? So that was really bad. She didn't sell it actually until a year after I left. And she lost all that rent. That place was 2-story, 2-bedroom, 3 patio, and a swimming pool. In a really, really nice area. And there's a shopping mall. Yep, right here in Florida. Really nice area. And all I wanted to get after that was a house. I really wanted to get a place bigger than that house, hopefully with a pool, with my daughter. That was like the next dream, was to get back to where we were before. Because I had a huge house when she was born that I owned outright. I hope you get out of that mess. And we'll be glad when you can walk through a new place and be able to sleep on a regular bed. You aren't lying, my friend. Oh my God, you aren't lying. It is the most horrible, horrible life. I've never been to jail, but it kind of feels like you're in jail. I mean, it's horrible. And people make fun of you, and it's like you can't dress real nice, or people think you have money and might rip you off, rape you, kill you, steal your car. Who knows? Break in while you're sleeping. Well, they've already tried to steal the cats from under it while I was actually in the car awake at 7:30 in the morning with 200 people around. But it's a horrible, horrible life. I miss my pretty clothes. I miss my heels. I miss being able to wear my jewelry all the time. Um, I miss taking a bath every day. Oh yeah, buddy, you weren't lying. Um, my back hurts. I'm in pain every day. Um, I miss doing my hair, putting on a face, and there's so much I miss of just being a normal person. Cooking, I love to cook. And I'm not talking about frozen junk or anything. I'm talking about real food from scratch. I've normally cooked 3 times a day, every day, unless I was out at work. I worked for corporate for 5 years, so I used to spend a lot of hours with them. But I made nothing less than $250 a day. And a lot of times I'd bring my daughter with me. Now, they didn't pay her by the hour, and she helped work. She did a lot of work. But she was doing balloons and getting tips. And there's days where she made $250 in tips twisting balloons. You believe that? Twisting balloons. One guy gave her a $100 tip one night. I was right there when he did it, too. Because we had a really nasty customer, and he cussed out me and her really bad. Made a big scene in front of all these people with children, like a Dumbo. Because he was drunk and stupid. And my daughter just was in tears, just standing there in tears, because the guy got up in her face too. And she's just a little kid. And it was really horrible, because she would not scream back at him or anything like that. She just stood over with the tears rolling down her face while this guy was huffing and puffing 6 inches from her face, just like he did me, and threatened us and everything else. It was horrible. And a customer went up, and she was making balloons for the kids. And he came up and he said, "Here, take this. I'm so sorry that guy treated you like that," and handed her $100 bill. And that was so sweet. There's some real human people out there. And she just looked at him and looked at me, and I said, that's why sometimes it's better for you to just hold your breath. Because a lot of these people aren't even worth, I learned as I got older. Before, man, I'd go burn your damn house down. I'll beat your butt all the way from here to New York. You'll be bringing a sack lunch, call your family. Dude, I'd take care of you, man or woman, years ago. Not a problem. Not a problem. And I've never been to jail in my life. But, as you get older, it's kind of like these people are worthless. They're worthless pieces of caca. You could beat them into the concrete and they're not going to change. If you think you're going to give them an attitude adjustment, it's not happening. They will never be better. Some of those people don't even deserve to breathe because they're so pitiful. And it can be for a lot of reasons. Upbringing, mental health, addiction of some sort, drugs, alcohol, whatever. People get messed up. And sometimes they're just never going to get better. And you aren't going to fix them. And you aren't going to fix them by beating their butt into the concrete. It's just not happening. So a lot of times it's not worth the argument. It's not worth the breath to even say anything to them. You're just wasting your breath. Sometimes you have to sit there and take it like somebody's beating the crap out of you and just not say anything and just hope they don't hurt you and hope they go away and hope that if you don't say anything, they won't say anymore. And a lot of times they keep on going. And other people do get involved. I've had that where other people jumped in and drug people out, or sheriffs showed up, or other business owners showed up and handled it, because people are stupid. These tourists that come here, we worked with so many tourists, and it was like all tourists. It wasn't locals doing it. It was these suckers from other states, and they come here and they can't be happy in such a pretty place. They are just miserable suckers no matter what they do or where they go. They can't enjoy themselves. And they are mean. They are so pitiful mean. And it's sad that people will be like that. Why would you spend that money? Why not just stay at home? Okay, just stay at home and don't come out of your house and sit there and cuss the walls or whatever it is that you do, because you don't need to be around people because you're raining on everybody's parade. Why? Because misery loves company. I don't want your misery. You know what I mean? Tell me something good. When I go shopping, people say, "Well, good afternoon," or "How are you doing?" You know what my first sentence is? "Great, now that I saw you." And you know how they feel when you tell them that? Just that simple, silly little comment. They feel like the world. "Great, now that I saw you." You made their day. And that's what I do everywhere I go. I don't want people to not like me. It's really, really hard when you're boondocking. You feel like trash. You look terrible. You don't look like you normally look, dress, anything. I always look like $1,000,000. You know what I mean? Can't look like that boondocking. You got to dress down, simple. Can't wear your jewelry after nightfall. All that kind of stuff. You got to make it simple. You got to stay incognito. You don't get friendly with a lot of people. You be real careful. You watch your back all the time. You don't get any sleep. I probably get 4 hours sleep a night because I'm waking up constantly with noises around the car. People walking by, homeless riding by or walking by, people with stereos, people parking next to my car yelling or peeing at 3 in the morning. You get woke up all the time. You hear noises under the car, around the car. You got to look, see if somebody's out there. Sometimes it's just animals crawling on the roof of the car, or a dog that's going by, or a cat went in the car. I mean, stuff will spook you constantly. So I don't get a whole lot of sleep, trust me. It is horrible. I'm so tired. If I could just sleep. Yeah. And I wish I could just like lay out on the floor of my office, even in the daytime. Um, I can't. I've got so much work to do. If I quit, I'll never get done. I'm not going to make any money if I don't try every day. So, yeah. I mean, I'm constantly, going through stock. If it's been damaged or whatever, I got to wash it. I'm making stuff. I'm in inventory, photographing, listing, um, packing up the stuff into boxes with plastic bags and prices or sizes or measuring clothes, listing. I mean, I'm constantly doing stuff. Um, yeah. I mean, it would be nice if I had, a normal life again. It would be nice if I had a home. It'd be nice if I could take a bath every single day. Um, there's so much stuff that I wish for that's simple for you guys. Running water. Um, sit in a bubble bath for hours. I could go for that so bad. Um, you know, uh, Being able to open my closet and pick out my clothes, and see them all there in rows in colors and all my beautiful shoes and boots. I mean, it's disgusting. It is so pitiful, you know. Um, and it's claustrophobic staying in your car. Don't think it's fun because it's not, and it's too hot. And it is so hot now. It's like in 90 degrees inside the car at night. It is so bad. And all I gotta do is get to that 105 point and I'm dead. I will be dead. 104, I think, is brain death, and then 105 is death. And this is the worst months of the year, July and August. So it's really scary. So maybe I can make some money on whatnot and try to clock myself into a cheap hotel, you know, because tourist season is beginning to end. It lasts, till like July and then a little bit into August, but I may be able to look up some hotel deal or something, so I can not be in the car for August, which would be nice. Um, because I'm really scared. I'm really, 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 really scared. Okay. I do not want to die in a damn car. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to try to do another auction tonight and see if I can do anything. It might take time to develop this. I might have to get 400 followers. I got like 30 now. But it might take time. And I've got to experiment with it and see if there's better times. I was kind of thinking the daytime was better because that's where a lot of the real sellers are on at daytime, and then at night is all that card and Funko Pop crap, and there's very few other sellers at night. But that might be the key. Maybe I need to be on at night because all that was on last night was one girl running T-shirts and a lady running $1,000 freaking used purses and making bank in the thousands and thousands in one show. Made thousands and thousands in one show last night. I looked at all her souls because you can look at what was sold, what it was and how much it sold for. Yeah, it's amazing. So there you have it. But yeah, and I got a little taco salad. This is the first real food I had in a week. So I got my YouTube paid today, so I managed to pay my internet bill. I went to get something to eat and put a little gas in the car, for starters. So, yeah, so a little bit of real food. This food's pretty good because it's from scratch. It's from that taco place, and they have a special every day for like $5.50. It's gone up. It used to be like $4 or something. Now it's like $5.50. And today's the salad day, so they have all these different salads you can pick from, and it's like $5.50. So that worked for me, and I got to call it in. I call it in, and then I just go pick it up. So they know me on the phone, and they know me when I go in there. They're real sweet, and they know I can't even afford a tip. Isn't that pitiful? Because that's the thing. You're supposed to like tip people on the to go. That's the thing now. Never used to be. I used to work fine dining all the time, and nobody ever tipped on to go. They only tipped if they were in-house eating. But that's a new thing now where you're supposed to tip for to-goes. Interesting, isn't it? But anyway, I hope you guys have a great evening. I thank you so much. I thank you so much for hanging out with me, standing behind me, being my friend. Because I think we're right at the beginning of something really good. I don't know how long this whatnot thing's gonna last. It makes me wonder, uh, because they do a lot of different stuff on there, it might end. um, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do all my stuff legal, and hopefully I can get it rocking and get a lot of the stock sold and get my money back for it and do stuff like tires for my car, get a roof over my head for at least August in a hotel or something to try to survive August. And then comes the freaking cold. Ugh. And that's really, oh my God, it gets so cold. And I mean, it's so weird how Florida will get as cold as Memphis, Tennessee sometimes. It's not like California where it's always like 70 degrees all year round. You know, it's like the weather never changes there. But yeah, Florida is a little bit, with the weathers. So it can get real cold. I've seen snow and ice down here. Literally, I have seen snow and ice down here. I remember it snowed in Defunk at my friend's house that they bought out there back in the 90s. And it was so funny that there was snow on the ground in Florida. Ugh. And I've been down here working in Navarre where it was 4 degrees one night and my battery on my new Cadillac stopped working. So when I got off work, I couldn't go anywhere. And I had all my run stock in the flipping car. And the battery for that car was like $400 on top of it, which I had the money. It's just there's no stores open when you get off work at 3 in the morning. So, but anyway, you guys, I love you so much. And I'm going to see you in the next one. And I'll tell you exactly how my first show did on Whatnot. And I'll give you a hint. I didn't sell a thing, but I learned a lot, and I can't believe I made it through it, and it was really quite interesting. So I'm proud I did it, and it's going to be interesting. I'm going to try to run another one tonight, and I'll let you guys know what happens, okay? But thanks so much. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for really being a friend. I love you. Do something kind for a stranger. You have a very blessed and profitable week. I love you.